Hey there everybody, Pete here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Ranking the Albums. Today we're going to take a look at the very short discography, only 4 albums, 4 studio albums of a very cool band. One of the more recent progressive rock supergroups. I'm talking about Transatlantic. This is the band that features Roine Stolt from the Flower Kings, Neal Morse from the Neal Morse band, Neal Morse Solo, previously from Spock's Beard. In fact, he was still in Spock's Beard when this band got together. Mike Portnoy, ex of Dream Theater, also with the Winery Dogs and Sons of Apollo and so many other bands. And Pete Trewavas, bass player from Marillion. So I can still remember when this band first got together in the late 90s. This was, big deal. All right, their debut album came out in 2000, but there was the talk of the town, and they have managed to, over the course of 20 years, every couple of years, put out a new album, or actually a little more than a couple of years. They released their first 2 albums within a short span, then they kind of went their separate ways, did their own, all the other projects. 8 years later, came out with another album, then 5 years later with another one, and actually they have their 5th album being worked on as we speak for release either later this year or probably early in 2021 based on my conversation with Neal Morse a couple months ago. So we're probably looking at early next year for the next Transatlantic album. These guys are as epic as it comes, right? These are not, their albums are filled with epic length compositions that run the gamut from classic symphonic progressive rock to a little more heavier stuff that not quite prog metal, but not too far removed. A lot of more pastoral stuff. Yeah, all the guys in the band sing, so you got lead vocals, from Roine and from Neal and from Pete, a little bit from Mike as well. Just really cool music, really cool albums. I will say this was near impossible for me to put together because. And it's one of the reasons why I kind of put off doing this ranking the albums for so long, because all 4 of these albums are absolutely spectacular. And over the last couple of weeks, I've been listening to them back and forth. This morning, and yesterday I listened to all of them again. And I'm like, I don't know how the hell to rank these, right? It's just, I put them in an order just now because I'm like, because you got to. But there's really not much that separates these albums for me. Maybe 1 or 2 might have a couple tracks that I just kind of really favor over some other stuff, and that's the reason why I've ranked them the way that they are. But I will say all 4 absolutely terrific. Who cares what the order is at this point? I think for those of you who have never listened to Transatlantic, just look at this episode as an excuse to go out and check out a band you haven't heard before. All right, because you can start anywhere here. So I'm going to start with their debut album from 2000, SMPTE, which is basically short for Stolt, Morse, Portnoy, Trewavas. All right, so this is the debut album. Okay. A lot of epic tracks on here, as all these albums are. So it kicks off with all of the above, 30 minutes and change, just under 31 minutes. Great bombastic symphonic progressive rock with all the trimmings. Then you have a couple shorter pieces. We All Need Some Light. They kind of mix up the more symphonic, upbeat, and really rousing numbers with more kind of pastoral acoustic stuff in between. Then you got Mystery Train, which rocks a little hard. Then you got My New World, another 16 minutes and change, another big epic. And then of course they were pretty notable when they released this album that they did a cover of Procol Harum's great epic In Hell 'Twas an I, 17 minutes and change. So, and then if you get the special edition, of course you get a bonus disc with all sorts of demos and alt versions of some of the songs, studio jams and things like that. So pretty cool. Let's see if we get a picture of the guys together from then. Well, you could tell how long ago that was. Look at Portnoy with the short hair. All right. So that's my number 4. Coming in at number 3, again, this is tough because I love this. I'm going to go with their 3rd release from 2009, The Whirlwind. So the Whirlwind big concept album, it's basically all one song, so a 77-minute long track called The Whirlwind, broken down into 12 different sections, and it plays that way. Yeah, a lot of the sections have different flavors and whatnot, but it's one of those things you got to listen to all the way through. and it's big, it's heavy in spots. You got, mellotrons and piano and all sorts of synthesizers and just a lot of cool guitar parts. Different, like I said, the vocal attack is amazing because all these guys sing, and so there's a lot of variety on these albums, especially from a vocal perspective. Great melodies. For my money, when you're talking about like modern prog rock, and I'm talking the last like 25, 30 years, it doesn't get much better than Neal Morse. Like anything that Neal Morse is involved with, the guy writes great vocal harmonies and melodies. He's just great at putting together, very alluring and interesting arrangements, and I love his voice. And then you mix him with Roine's vocals. Again, he's got that nasally kind of vocal style. And then you got Pete Trewavas, who has, again, doesn't really sing with Marillion other than backing vocals. Got a really good voice, that guy. And then you got Portnoy adding the backing vocals, occasionally some lead vocals and what have you. So, but this is just a big sounding album. If you get the special edition on this, you get a couple extra tracks. You got some covers. They cover A Salty Dog and Return of the Giant Hogweed from Genesis, Soul Sacrifice from Santana, among some other stuff. So, pretty special album. There's the guys in the studio kind of getting it all down. I mean, these guys work magic together. And I think it almost has worked out in their favor that they actually don't release that many albums, because it's almost like you really are like waiting for something from them. And then when they do deliver something, they deliver in a big way. Okay. So my number 2 is going to be Bridge Across Forever. This is their sophomore or second album from 2001. All these, by the way, are on Radiant/Metal Blade Records. This is pretty special. So this only has 4 tracks. It starts off with the 26-minute Duel with the Devil, which is absolutely fantastic. I love the kind of... it's just complex, and it's just a lot of different, almost like MIDI movements within the entire track. It changes pace lots of times, and it just takes you on a journey. It's heavy, it's light, it's catchy, does all that. Then you got the sweet Charlotte Pike, okay, 13 minutes and change. Gorgeous song. Then the much shorter at 5 minutes title track, Bridge Across Forever, which is just this lush pastoral piece. Great vocal harmonies. And then A Stranger in Your Soul at 25 minutes. So you got these gigantic epics that bookmark the album. Stranger in Your Soul, absolutely crushing. Great hard charging, hard rocking modern day prog with a lot of the kind of nods to the 70s and the early 80s. Just a fantastic song. Again, broken down in parts, so many great parts. I mean, this is just an epic album. Love it. Love the cover design on it. Really strong. In fact, could have been my number 1, except, man, I really love their last album, 2014's Kaleidoscope. I, again, could interchange the top 2. I think the top 2 are easily my favorite of the 4. Again, this one only has 5 tracks. Okay, so it starts off with the absolutely amazing 25-minute Into the Blue, broken down into 5 parts. The Dreamer and the Healer. I mean, those vocal harmonies from Neal Morse, just absolutely drop dead stunning. I'm not even going to try and sing it because it's the end of the day, and my voice is shot as it is anyway from talking all day. So yeah, just a great song. And they a lot of their epic tracks always start off with like an instrumental overture. Fantastic on here. Big, Morse's keyboards, just absolutely fantastic. Then you got the gorgeous sing-along melodic Shine. All the vocal harmonies coming into play, just absolutely great stuff. Black as the Sky, killer, more supercharging hard prog. Then Beyond the Sun, another gorgeous tune. And then close it all off, we got the 32-minute long title track Kaleidoscope. Again, kicks off with an instrumental overture to start, goes through all these different changes and moods and meters and textures and all that kind of stuff. Just fantastic stuff. Fantastic album. Let me get you... There's the guys right there. Trewavas, Stolt, Portnoy, Morse. An amazing album. In fact, I like this picture even better. I mean, this is what a supergroup is all about. Supergroup, they get together every so often. They click in the studio. They occasionally play live shows as well. And just 4 absolute professionals and legends of the prog rock scene. And just really making some great music. So, again, I'm ranking them. Kaleidoscope is my favorite. The Whirlwind, Bridge Across Forever is my second. The Whirlwind, my third. And the self-titled debut, or SMPTE, as number 4. But they're all great, and I could totally see anybody reversing the order. I could probably reverse the order if I do this in a couple of weeks, whatever. They're all really good. All really good. Fantastic discography. If you've never listened to Transatlantic, if you've never listened to, maybe you've heard a little bit of Dream Theater, maybe you heard a little Spock's Beard or a little Flower Kings or a little Marillion, or maybe you like all those bands, but you've just never listened to these guys, please do so. I think you will be very, very impressed. But just to be very transparent, this is epic, epic stuff. If you're not into like 15, 20, 30-minute long songs, maybe not the place for you to go. But wonderful stuff. Great vocal harmonies, lots of killer instrumentation. Fantastic band. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. As the thunderclaps are approaching outside, I think we're getting ready for that storm they've been talking about all day. It's finally here. So have a good one, everybody. I'll see you later. I actually have a Blu-ray DVD review for you tonight as well. So I know I should have done that this morning, but been really busy today. So be on the lookout for that, all right? Take care, guys. See you soon. Bye.